committed by Yekeh.
I think the senator,
you got a note.
Yeah. So the thing is, I always tell all of us, we overly political in the country, all the things I talk about the army, all the things I talk about printing money that will affect the economy. They put their all Yekeh. I didn't come here to defend Yekeh.
Right, and I think it's going to be clear.
I made it very clear.
And social media is already awash with quotes from you on Yekeh.
I didn't come here to defend Yekeh. I came to speak to an issue, even though Yekeh may be the subject of the issue. The issue is when we in the legislature or any administrative body develop the tendency not to honor the court when the court is acting within the scope of its constitutional authority, it becomes troubling for any good citizen, whether you are a lawmaker like me or not. I get this saying that when a child wrongs you, sometimes the way you beating a child, some people can't even ask what the child did. They can start getting fed with you. What the child did, so when you beating him like that, they ignore the wrong the child did. If you overly, brutally, violently beating that child. So what am I saying in essence? We can say Article 38 say we do our own rule and ignore the instruction for Article 38. No. We should never ever do that. Let me tell you what the Supreme Court said. I heard somebody talking about due process. And when you are represented by a lawyer, anywhere fundamental or constitutional right will be affected. Yet what the Supreme Court said. In the Great Pan case versus the House of Representatives, the very legislature, when Great Pan lawyers went to the House, the House said, the lawyer can't talk here. They play here, we get our own rule. Due process, that's not the kind of due process that can be in a court. The lawyer can't talk here, you're only here to guide your client. Great Pan lawyers went to court on prohibition in the exercise against the House of Representatives in the exercise of its authority to hold people in contempt. Here's what the court said. The respondent House of Representatives, by disallowing Councilor Pearl Bamboo, petitioner's legal counsel, from making statements in defense of her client, petitioner Grace Dickman, at least, or by restricting counsel from speaking openly and unrestrictedly to the quasi-judicial setting in defense of her client, the accused stripped Grace Pan of her fundamental right. Proceedings conducted under circumstances tending not to afford an accused, as in the instant, full and adequate opportunity of legal representation. A decision concluded therefrom adjudging an accused guilty of legislative contempt, as well as the sanction imposed as a result, are untenable. That's what the Supreme Court said. Now, somebody who listening, will always get sentiment. Somebody will say, oh, but our contempt case. This is the Supreme Court telling you what constitutes due process. Due process is giving somebody notice, adequate notice, and the person get a lawyer, they can ask for time to find a lawyer, and then when the lawyer comes, the Supreme Court has ruled. When the Supreme Court ruled, both people call it precedent. The Supreme Court has settled. I was chief of staff to Edwin Snow when he was speaker in 2006. Up to his forced resignation. But we went to the court. The fourth bench ruled and defined due process. And over now people, I can understand the politics. And I get what I do. I didn't come here for Yekeh to go back. I came here so we can continue doing this like this. You get your number, you get your course, get a man due process. Kabina Janet, like you or not, that's a former associate justice. Kabina Janet were on that bench for years. They were giving ruling on due process. He knows what due process is. He was representing Yekeh. He knows that as a lawyer, in any process, any hearing that has to do with rights, not our CEO, our GHTS, any constitutional or fundamental rights that will be affected, when a lawyer is represented, that lawyer must speak and represent that client unrestrictedly. That's not my word. That's the word of the Supreme Court. And that's not only the word of the Supreme Court, the opinion of the Supreme Court, and then the judgment ruling. So the court can get opinion, it can't get ruling. The ruling, you follow it, that the ruling settles the matter. The Supreme Court ruling opinion was that when a lawyer is representing his client, whether it is in the legislature for contempt or expulsion or impeachment, whether it is at the labor ministry for labor-related cases before the hearing officer, whether it is before the election commission on election-related cases, the lawyer must speak unrestrictedly. That's what the Supreme Court said. Now, the Supreme Court can never say your money is fair, Yekeh. It's not within the authority. The Constitution vests the authority with the House to expel any of its own. So the Supreme Court cannot cancel that decision. The Supreme Court can only review the processes leading to the decision and say you're going to do it the right way. So I didn't come here to go put Yekeh back in the house. Yekeh not call all in the country. The only reason why I don't feel bad when Yekeh causing us, because when you were causing other people, we were not there with him. We rewarded him with re-election. So me, I guess king to withstand you. And Yekeh cause everybody, don't think everybody getting fair now. Anything you do, you always do it and catch up with you. So that Yekeh on our own deeds, catching up with him. But I don't care how we angry at Yekeh. Maturity, respect for the rule of law, good governance must obligate us to go by what the law says. So Yekeh grandma over there, you know grandma over there. That's not my business. My business is it will continue to allow this bad precedent to take place. We think that the right thing to do. And we must stop doing the wrong things and thinking that it is the right thing to do. That is my point. Let me conclude.
Before you conclude, just want to ask you quickly on the scene, Yekeh.